Today we're going to look at our reading text story. We are working on lesson 27. Let's go over the words that are going to be in the story first. Word number 1, it's a long word, but that doesn't mean we can't do it. We break it up into parts. D-if, diff. ER is boss ER, says ent, ent, diff, ent, different. Children like to help out in different ways. The opposite of different is same. Go down below to number 2. When two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. So we have long E, near. The girl helps plant flowers near the porch. Near means close to. So the opposite of near would be far away. Up top, number 3, this is a tricky word. This O-U-G-H doesn't really make any sounds that it's supposed to. It's a rule breaker. So it says and then f. There's no F in the word, but this is a word we just have to practice and remember. Enough. Is there enough paint for everyone? Number 4. If there was a Y at the end of the word, it would be story. We have more than one, so we change the Y to I and add ES. It becomes stories. They read silly stories to each other. Number 5, IGH is working together to make the I sound. So this word is hi. It does not mean the type of hi when you say hello to someone. It is high, meaning high up in the sky or up in the air. The girl helped him swing high. The opposite of high is low. Number 6, always. She always helps her brother tie his shoes. So that means she does it every single time. The opposite of always is never. Number 7, we've had this word before. We hear it a lot in our fairy tales, and I know some of you who practice Lexia, this is a word that comes up on Lexia. This is the word once. It's a little tricky because it sounds like it has a W, once, and it doesn't. It's an O at the beginning. So if you said once upon a time, this means it happened one time. The boys cleaned up once they were done. Number 8, happy. The Y at the end is making the E sound. It's a 2-part word, happy. So the Y is making long E at the end, happy. She was happy to help wash the dog. The opposite of happy is sad. So let's take a look at those words. It says having fun. What are some different ways to have fun? You can ride a bike near your home. You can swing high in the air. You can make up funny stories. Always take enough time to learn and have fun. Once you do, you will feel happy. It shows us some ways to have fun. Read a book, ride a bike, swing high, kick a ball, tap a drum. And name some ways you have fun. So having fun can be different for different people. Something that you might think is fun, maybe other people don't really like so much, and that's okay because it's almost like having your own opinion. What you think and feel is okay to be different than what other people think and feel. So when we listen to our story today and look at the pictures, we're going to be thinking about some of the parts of the story, like titles, labels, pictures, any drawings, anything like that. And then at the end, we're going to be talking about how those things help us with our story. Our story is called What Can You Do? That's the title. And it says a book about discovering what you do well. So it's going to use photographs. It tells us down here, photographs are real pictures taken with a camera. And the words up here, we have 2 authors who helped write this story. We'll look at them in a moment. But this title gives us an idea that the book is going to be about what things that different people like to do and things that different people are good at. Over here, we see the author who did the words, and she's also the photographer. She took the pictures. Shelley Rotner is both an author and an award-winning photographer. She has taken photographs of children from around the world. The other author who helped with the words is Sheila M. Kelly. What a team! Together, Sheila M. Kelly and Shelley Rotner have written about moms, dads, and grandparents. In this book, the two authors show that everyone has talents. All right, listen and make sure you're really looking at the pictures and the different parts of our book so that we can talk about it at the end.
I know a boy who can draw very well, and a girl who can climb very high. We are all good at doing something. We're always learning new things as we get older.
So in the pictures here, we see a boy drawing and a girl climbing. The pictures show us what is happening in the story. The pictures go along with the words.
I like to swim and learned how to float. I had to practice. Once I learned, I felt like I could float for hours. My little brother is better on skis. He can ski much faster than I can.
So there may be some people who have never skied before or never seen somebody skiing or don't know much about skiing. If you live in a place where it's warm all the time, you may not know what skiing is like. When we see this picture, it helps us understand a little bit more about skiing. You can see that skiing is done in places where it's cold because of what the boy is wearing. You can see that there's snow on the ground. You can tell that there are special boots here that attach to the skis. So the picture helps us understand more about the story and the words.
We're happy when we do something well, whatever that might be.
Okay, and these pictures, we see somebody using a microscope for some science work, somebody riding a horse, and somebody jumping rope. It doesn't tell us that in the words. It says we're happy when we do something well, whatever that might be. So the words don't talk about doing science projects or riding horses or jumping rope, but we get those ideas by looking at the pictures. The pictures give us more information about what different people like to do.
Reading is easy for me, but math is much harder. I'd like to be better at math, though.
Here you can see that while he is reading, he has a smile on his face, and while he's doing math, he looks like he has to concentrate a little bit more. He's thinking about it. It doesn't say he doesn't like math, but it says that it's harder and he's trying to get better at it. So the pictures give us a little bit of a better idea how he feels when he's doing his reading and where he's doing his math.
I can't read very well yet. I wish I could. It can take a long time to be good at something. If we practice, things get easier and easier to do. Marie knows how to spell, and Jill prints well. Jean is really good at anything that has to do with computers. I haven't discovered what I'm good at yet. Nathan writes funny stories about science. Some of the funniest ones are about a baby robot. Beth likes to build. The biggest tower she ever built was taller than she is. I made the soccer team this year. I hope I play well enough to score a goal. I see lots of things in the park. I look near and far. Things look much closer through my binoculars. We all like to do what we do best. When things are hard, we need help to learn. We might say, I don't get it. We're good at different things. I feed the baby myself now. When she gets bigger, she will not need help. I can fix my brother's wagon. I'm younger than my brother, but I'm good at fixing things. I got my training wheels off earlier than I thought I would. I felt very proud. The kids made me captain of our team. That was one of the happiest days of my life. We have schoolwork, acting, singing, dancing, playing games, or sports. We all have something we do well. What can you do?
Okay, so we are going to talk a little bit and fill in our chart with things that we can do well. I'm sorry, not with things that we can do well, with things from our story that told us about the story. You have in your journal to write about some things that you like to do when you're with your friends, or some things that you like to do when you're by yourself, or maybe something that you want to practice more. So you are going to think about those things in your journal writing. Today in our chart, it says text feature. Fancy words there. And that just means that we're going to be talking about a part of our book. So one part of our story was the title. We know that the title is the name of the story. And over here it says purpose. And purpose just means its job. So what is the job of the title? What does the title of the story do? Well, the title of the story gives us a clue what the story is about. So the title of the story gives us a clue of what the story is about. And that's the purpose. That's what the title does. It doesn't tell us all about the story, but it gets us to start thinking, this story might be about what people like to do, what people are good at, okay? So another text feature in this story was photographs. Photographs, that's the fancy word for pictures taken with a camera. This book didn't have drawings, it did not have make pretend pictures. It had photographs of real kids doing things. And we stopped a couple times and talked about those photographs so we know what their job is, what the purpose is of those things. All the different photographs in the story gave us details. So the photographs helped tell us things that maybe we didn't know just from reading the words. We could tell about the feelings of the people in the story by looking at their faces. We could tell what they were doing. The one thing talked about building a tower or building, but it didn't tell us what they were building with. It could have been building with Legos. It could have been building with blocks. It could have been building with cubes. But when we looked at the picture, we saw that the child was building, it was some kind of like connects or something like that. It had circles and little pieces that all fit together. So then we understood, oh, they like to build with that, or we could see what they were building with. We talked about the boy who was skiing, and maybe if you didn't know a whole lot about skiing, you could look at the picture and learn more about it. So the photographs gave us details. So whenever we are reading a story, we should stop and think about all the different parts of the story and what we can learn from it. We can learn things from the name of the story. We can learn things from the photographs or the drawings in the story. We can learn from the words. The words tell us who's talking in the story. They tell us some of the thoughts and feelings of the characters in the story. Okay, so you do have some journal writing to do that, like I said earlier, wants you to tell some different things that you are good at or that you like to do. You do have some workbook pages to do. I gave you your workbook pages in an email to practice those things. And tomorrow we are going to read our guided reading story together.